People say I ain't no good, and I'm crazy as a loon. Cause I shave my head in the morning, pick guitar in the afternoon. Just like old Chief and Charlie, I like to lay around in the shade. Well, I ain't got no money, but you better believe I got it made. Cause I ain't asking nobody for nothing if I can't get it on my own. If you don't like the way I'm living, just leave this bald-headed country boy alone.
What's up, folks? Thank y'all for tuning into the Josh Terry podcast. I'm going to sound like shit today because this is our third or fourth day in Nashville, and I went out with way too many people last night, and half of them were white bitches, so I do not feel well. But luckily, I got somebody I've been really wanting to get on the show. I'm a big fan. I love the songs that this dude writes, and he's just a good, solid dude. Mr. Tyler Reeve, thank you for doing the show today, man.
Yeah, buddy. Glad to be here, man.
Appreciate it so much. It's funny. I love full circle moments. So I sent you a text the other night when I was riding dirt roads. That's my favorite thing in the world to do, right? And I love that song, the I Got Away With You, the Calm song.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize until a couple months back that you were one of the writers on it. And then to know that, like, I've got to meet you before and kind of, talk shit to you a little bit through Instagram and the golf course and everything. And that's just really cool. Like, I was trying to explain to one of my buddies back home that I would have never thought when I started in country radio several years ago that I'd get to be able to make friends and be buddies with some folks. So you being here doing the show, it's kind of like a full circle thing for me, because I always say that song, it's like something special for me, because I know it's not about a daughter, but to me that song is like my daughter's song.
Yeah. Well, that's a good thing about songs, man. They can mean anything to anyone, but I appreciate you saying that, man. That's honestly one of my favorite ones I was ever a part of. So we had fun writing that. That was the first write Ray Fulcher and Luke Combs and I ever had together. So
dude, it's such a banger. And I'm a big fan of Ray too. We were supposed to have a show with him 2 weeks ago in Macon for one of my honky tonk nights. Here in him and Fair and Rachel's, and it just at last minute got canceled for something. But dude, yeah, just everything that I've heard from you, and then tonight you playing our round.
Yeah.
At our end of the year show, appreciate you doing that so much too.
Yeah, man.
It's just cool for me. I all the time get a little bit like these aw shucks fucking things. Like, it's like, oh shit, and this is one of those. This is cool for me. So I just appreciate you taking time to do it, dude.
Yeah, man. Glad to be here.
So go ahead. Let's start off. We was just talking about the golf thing. The playthrough.
Yeah.
Tell everybody a little bit about playthrough in case we got any. And I know we got a lot of golfers that listen to this. So if there's any golf courses around here that might want to book us that listen to you.
Yeah, it's called Playin Through. It's like it's just kind of, we do a three guys across little acoustic show for golf courses and their membership. We'll do them on like a Sunday night, and we raise a bunch of money for charity, and we've had a bunch of awesome people do it. We've had Cole Swindell is a partner with Cole Taylor and I on it, and then we've had Old Dominion's done it a couple times. Dustin Lynch has done it. Riley Green, Chase Rice. We've had a bunch of guys do it, and Charles Kelly just did one with us up at Nemacolin, and it's just fun, man. It's all guys. We kind of find the guys that like golf that are successful artists, and that's kind of how we pull them into the deal, because we've been playing these at some really awesome golf courses. So
you said Vince Gill a while ago.
Yeah.
The scariest moment I've ever had on a golf course was this past year. Was it this past year or last year? I played in. I play every year when Creative Vets does a thing at Old Hickory.
Yeah.
And Vince Gill, I never get like super fucking like starstruck, fangirl, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Yeah.
But Vince Gill is one of those guys. Like,
oh yeah,
I love everything that man has ever done.
Yeah.
He was on the tee box in front of me at the driving, or whatever it is, driving range. He's in front of me. I recognize who he is. I hit a ball, dude, that went 10 feet in the air, but fucking 2 feet in front of me, and it drops in front of him. I've never been more embarrassed in my life. I thought I hit Vince Gill in the fucking head with a golf ball. I'm not horrible at golf either, and I was just shaking in my boots. I was just like, fuck, that's Vince Gill. It's one of those things, I just don't know how my dumb country ass ended up in situations to where I'm standing next to Vince Gill and shit.
Yeah.
But when you said that a while ago, I was like, I gotta tell him that's.
Yeah, Vince is awesome, man. He's been we catch up back and forth on the phone here and there about it started with us offering a date for him for Playin through, and I sent him a text. I didn't have his number, and a buddy of mine that's a mutual friend gave his number, so I sent him this text message, and I was like, hey buddy, this is like the date we have. It's Tyler Reeve. We've met before a couple times at blah blah blah, whatever, all this stuff, and no reply for like 2 weeks, and I'm like, okay, well I guess he doesn't want to do it, and I was cooking spaghetti like in my kitchen, and my phone rings and it's Vince Gill, and so I'm standing there. I was like, honey, can you stir the spaghetti? Vince Gill's calling, and so I'm. Hello, he said, Mr. Tyler, and he's the nicest guy in the world. We talked for 15 minutes or so about all kinds of stuff, and he was, telling me why I couldn't do that date and stuff. He's like, yeah, I prefer phone call over text. So, anyway, we stayed in touch, and we go back and forth on the dates, whatever they may be. But I had another one where I was driving out to Mallard Estates to go duck hunting, and was stopping prior to that, and I had my dad in the car, and Vince called me. And so it pops up on the screen on my truck. It says Vince Gill. And my dad leans over and tries to, turn the radio up. He's, elderly dude. And he tries to, turn the radio up. And I'm like, Dad. I'm like, it's Vince Gill. He's like, I know. That's why I'm trying to turn it up. I'm like, no, he's calling me. And he's like, what? And so, anyway, I answered the call. My dad said, I think at the end of it, he was like, I don't know what's going on.
Isn't it cool?
But those are all shucks. Like, you were talking about all shucks things. Man, it's it is really crazy how, whatever you do in the industry and however you end up there, I mean, if you don't ever stop and pinch yourself or go, how the hell did I end up in this situation? I mean, it's cool, man. It's fun to be fans of people and then also be friends with people. And then some you're a fan first and then a friend, and some you were a friend first and then become a fan of what they start doing musically and everything else. So it's a cool thing about the industry.
It's mind blowing. It's just, I can't ever put into, my friends back home, they'll never get it. And I just, it's so hard for the outside world, I guess, to get it. If you grew up loving these folks, or I really hate saying idolize, but I look up to a lot of people that I get to shake hands and be friends with now.
Yep.
And it just doesn't make sense to me.
Yep.
I don't know what lottery I won. I don't know what game I fucking placed in. But it's just, when it happens and you get to have a connection with these people, it's almost like it's not real life anymore.
Yeah.
It blows my fucking mind all the time.
Yeah, it is weird. I mean, my wife and I talk about this sometimes, where it's like, you say something about what you did last night or whatever, and you realize you've just said 3 people's names that are you're like, what the hell? What the fuck are we doing? But I mean, in a good way though. I mean, it's.
Yeah. Me and you got a mutual friend, Lil Skinny, and I give him shit all the time about being the biggest name dropper that there is. He's the only person that'll write a song with his own name in it. I love him to death. I'd do anything to work for him. He's like my little brother, but he will tell a story, and in that one story, in that one night, it'll be you, Post Malone. I can't remember who all else
Andre
was.
Hopkins. He's talking about the one night.
Yeah,
all,
but that's every night of the week almost for him, and it's just like, dude, you don't live in real life.
Yeah.
But it's all of y'all. It's just so cool. And then somebody like me who doesn't live here, I couldn't live here. I would die. But when you're up here and you get to experience a little bit of a piece of it, and you realize, like, damn, this is real life. But for you guys, it's just normal. It's crazy.
It does kind of become like there's like a normalization of being out and seeing folks. I think it was more like when you're first coming up and before you're, I guess kind of considered, like a contemporary of those people, or you're in the same business of that. When you first come to town and you're going out to losers or whatever, and there's guys that are already big stars that are in there having a beer or whatever. I mean, you definitely are like, oh shit, that's so and so. But
Yeah.
then as you go along and as you become friends with people as they're going on their way up, and then they become those big stars, and you're the ones in there hanging with them when other people walk in and go, oh shit, look, that's so and so and so and so. You know, it's kind of that circle thing, but it's awesome, man. I mean, it's fun to be around, and it's cool. I mean, you know, like you said, if you got friends from back home that may not quite get it on the level that you're talking about it, but people enjoy hearing that kind of stuff. You know, all my buddies from back home or college or shit, you know, they love hearing stories like that, or they see something, they're like, dude, were you hanging out with so and so? And you're like, yeah, you know, so that's cool.
Yeah, I'll still, but the first time I got to hang out with Aaron Lewis, I still, to this day, I still pinch myself sometimes and be like, was I really at his house? Mm-hmm. Like, did I really just get that stoned?
Has he invited you fishing yet?
No, not yet.
Aaron loves some fishing, man.
No.
The guy he can catch a fish.
Shit, dude. Well, I'm scared to go back around him. To be real with you, I don't really smoke a lot of weed in the first place. Like, I like to eat gummies and stuff. Yeah. The smoking is just not my cup of tea.
Yeah, same.
And
it's his.
Yeah, and let me tell you, I thought I was going to fucking die. You can't, but it's not like I'm not going to say this in a bad way, but there's not much that's like, if Vince Gill was to ask me to do certain things, I'd be like, fuck yeah, let's do all the shots in the world you wanted to do if that's what was his thing. Aaron Lewis asked me to smoke weed with him. I'm not going to say fucking no. Like, Now if it would be like, hey, you want to do some meth? Probably not doing fucking meth with you. But it would cross my mind for a second and be like, I might do a little meth with Aaron Lewis. Like, maybe, you know. It just depends. But no, like, I have to pinch myself sometimes. And just, I can only imagine with the people that you've been around, because you're way closer with some of these folks, and the stuff that you've got to do so far. And the stuff you're still getting to do. You're going to keep getting to do great shit. Like, what has been something that has just been like a surreal ass, how the fuck am I here?
I mean, there have been quite a few, and I mean, I would say getting to play Augusta multiple times has been awesome. It was like Cole Taylor and I ended up, both of us played. The first time we played, we both got to play 3 weeks later again, which is just not a common thing. And then I've been lucky enough to go down quite a few times since. But so that's always special and cool. And, you know, going down to the Masters, I went this year and got to ride in with Fuzzy Zeller and sit and hang out with all the green jacket dudes. And
that's so
Jack
fucking cool.
Furyk and all those guys. So all that's cool for me. I'm a big golf guy, so
yeah.
I love the fact, you know, I'm good buddies with Kevin Kisner, so that's always fun for me. Like, he's an idiot, but I love hanging out with him and listening to him when he's on the broadcast, or, you know, we send some words to him that he's got to say on his broadcast while he's out there on the 16th or some dumb shit like that. Those are fun. But and then musically, there's been a couple. I mean, we did this big Patrick Davis did a big benefit for the Bahamas after the hurricane, and we all went and played the Ryman together. It was cool. I did the Whiskey Jam thing at the Ryman, which was awesome, and that probably musically was one of the coolest moments. We did. We all sang "Forever and Ever, Amen," and Randy came out and he sang the last Amen, and it was like this moment of us being like, that's the last word he'll ever like sing on a stage, and it was cool. We didn't know that. Like, Ward was like, yeah, when we get to this last part, like, he's gonna kind of do this, and you know, and we're all singing along, and then just at the end, like, Randy Travis was like,
I've seen that video so many times
and, I mean,
cried so many times.
I mean, man, it was magical. Like, it was like palpable. You could feel the like magic in the room. Everyone out in the crowd was going nuts, and then all of us on stage were like, holy shit, man. I mean, so certainly that's kind of hard to beat, but there's been a lot of cool things, man. I think, like, I definitely count my blessings. I know a lot of the shit I get to do is really cool. But, you know, I also understand that it takes a lot of hard work and being tired of shit all the time, or like getting yourself to go and do all these things to get yourself in that situation where you belong in those situations. So there are the upsides and the downsides. The upsides certainly outweigh the downsides to it. But I definitely have done some awesome shit. I've done some things that I probably won't talk about on anything recording me. There's some great stories I can tell you.
Those are the best.
Another time. But yeah, we've had some wild ones, that's for sure. We've had some crazy shit happen. But,
you and old Daly are buddies, right?
yeah, Daly. So John is the godfather of my son.
Awesome.
So my son Harlan was born during COVID, and John was here pretty much like the whole time. He basically lived out at the Hick and lived on his bus. So when Harlan was born, John and I were, during Ashley's pregnancy, I was on the golf course with John pretty much all day, every day. And so Harlan's born, and John's like, "Hey, I'm going to be his godfather." And I was like, "Okay, I didn't know if that's how directionally this works, but I definitely won't oppose that. John's got a big heart, great dude." And so he's like, "All right, man, just let me know what church we're going to go to do this." And I was like, "I'm not going to church with you, dude." He, of course, laughed and said, "Fair enough." So Harlan got up on his bus, and he pulled out the Crooked Stick Trophy and the British Open Trophy and took a picture, and that's how he kind of christened Harlan as his godson.
Well, that's a great story.
Yeah.
I just now am getting to meet him and get around him. He is so fucking cool. He came to my round last month at Live Oak and hung out. And they brought him out a table. I fucking didn't know that they had ashtrays at Live Oak. But apparently John Daly gets his own fucking ashtray and can do whatever he wants, and he should. Yeah. And then he tickled me. He got up on stage at the very end of the night and wanted to sing and play. There's this kid that I bring up. His name's Miles Gee. I don't know if you know who Miles is or not. Miles is 12 years old, and I found him about 2 years ago. I should say I found him. People sent me this kid's video. I'm tenderhearted. I'm a big crybaby bitch. Mm-hmm. And this kid played Way More Blues at his middle school or elementary school talent show. And kid's badass. Cool as hell. But these kids were picking on him mercilessly, giving this little country boy shit, right? He's twangy. He's badass. So I just fell in love with him, like right off the bat. And I invited him and his family to come to Nashville to play my round. So he gets up on stage at the very end of the night, like 2 years ago, or like a year ago, whenever the fuck it was, and plays Way More Blues than an Elvis song at the end of the night. And the fucking whole place is packed. And they go ape shit for him. Well, since then, like Billy Strings has had him on at Bridgestone, like in front of 20,000 folks, like Dixie Chicks, Kenny Chesney, like people. The kids just blew up like everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, he played with John on stage last month.
Yeah.
And Grayson Russell and Skinny.
Yeah.
Like it was just the coolest moment.
Oh yeah.
And John up there telling stories while he was playing.
Yeah.
And you could just see like Miles like looking up at him like, how the fuck am I sitting next to John Daly?
Yeah.
And why is John Daly telling these absurd stories on stage right now?
Yeah.
It was one of the coolest things to me.
Yeah, man.
He just seems like he is. You ever meet somebody and like everything that you've ever saw from them on TV, social media, or whatever, and you're like, there's no way they can live up to that hype. John lives up to every bit of it.
Yeah, so I've told people that about John. There's an old saying that says you never want to meet your heroes because they can only let you down.
Yep.
And because you put them on such a pedestal, but John is one of the people that's just like the opposite. I've seen so much shit that John does that makes people happy or blows people's minds or like whatever. He'll do, randomly playing golf. Like I've had quite a few buddies where it'll be a day I'm playing with John or something and I know there's an extra spot or something. I'll text somebody that I know that's a huge fan that I'm good friends with or something.
Yeah.
Like, hey man, you want to come out and play today? We got a spot. And they're like, yeah. And sometimes I'll tell them it's with Daly, sometimes not. And when I don't tell them, they get there and I'm like, you're going to ride with my buddy John. And then Daly pulls up and they're like, bro, are you fucking serious? But he always does, he'll randomly, like he won't be like, hey, watch this. He'll just tee a ball up on a bottle randomly and hit it 300 yards down the middle. And, people will go, wait, can you do that again? I want to like film that. Or he's like, no, that's how I was playing. He's cool that way. So he does that a lot. He's also just a very generous guy, man. He's got a big heart.
How hard is it to play golf with him? Because it can't be like.
It's not hard to play golf with John. He doesn't. So John loves music more than he loves golf.
Yeah.
Certainly in this time of his life, I know that. And I think John plays a lot of golf because we love golf, and he plays golf because that's the easiest way for him to hang with us and listen to music and have drinks and everything else. So it's not like, when you go out there and play, certainly we've played some money games. I've got some good stories about that. But when we're just out there playing, it's always a money game, but not like $5,000-$10,000 money games, which are a little different. But it's not like he's not out there grinding and trying to,
he's just having
break
fun.
The course record. Yeah, he's just out there kind of,
He's almost dicking off. He's not taking it too serious.
No. I mean, he's just out there to have a good time, have some drinks, smoke some lung darts, and hang out with the boys and listen to music. That's pretty much the.
Yeah. See, I think this is where the good Lord knew not to give me too much talent in anything, because I wouldn't take it easy on anybody and anything. If I was,
he's not taking it easy. Trust me, he will. So don't mistake what I'm saying when I say he's going around. It's like if you said, like, hey, John, I'll bet you $5,000. I mean, he'll beat the shit out of you for sure. I witnessed it. I was actually a part of it when somebody bet him $5,000 if he'd give him 5 strokes, and John proceeded to shoot 7 under through 10 and close the guy out 9 and 8.
My God.
And beat the absolute brakes off him. I was like, "This is the best golf I've ever seen John play, like in person."
Holy shit! Yeah, I would not want to rile him up.
No, he's got that. And the other thing is with John, it's like nowadays, like all the younger kids coming up, I mean, they hit the ball fucking mile because they know how to like create lag and hit the golf ball. Way different than when we were like coming up, where it's just like, oh yeah, like swing hard and hit it further, or they just have access to a lot more ways to knowing how to do that. And so, if we get on a first tee and it's some younger kid playing with us, I say kid, it could be a 25 or 29-year-old, whatever. And they tee off and smoke one, like hit one 330 on the first hole or something, John will absolutely rip one by him just to let him know he can. And then the rest of the day, he's like, he'll just pop him out there, 285, 290. He doesn't care. He's like, whatever. He just lets them know.
He just lets them know he can do it.
I can do it. I just don't feel like doing it the rest of the day. But he's got an extra gear in him, man. Obviously, if you're somebody that can win majors and on the PGA, I mean, you've got another gear. So he's had that, and I know now he has a lot of arthritis and stuff, so that kind of bothers him a little bit, and a little bit of injury stuff. But yeah, man, he's been a cool part of my life, one of my best buds now, and he and I sharing a lot of music together has been. He loves songs. Yeah. So I send a lot of songs I write to him. He'll message me a lot of times, be like, "Hey, I've got a 3-hour drive, man. Just send me a bunch of new stuff you wrote." And then he'll call me, in the middle of a song. "Oh man, this line right here just wrecked me, dude." Like, whatever. I mean, so it's been cool knowing him.
I noticed it about him whenever he came to my show last month. So a lot of people, like me and the girl who just did the show yesterday, when I invite people to do my rounds, I'm very picky about who I have on my shows. Like, I don't have a problem. I do a 6-hour round once a month, and I go through and I pick the people that are not necessarily an extension of me, but people I actually would listen to. Yeah. Like stuff that I like, whether it's got to be, if it's a girl, she's got to do some sad girl country shit, something that's really going to hit me in the heart. Dudes, usually like your stuff. Like it's got to mean something. It's got to have depth. It can't be corny shit. Yeah. Like that's just not me. I can't do it. I don't want to just have people, I don't care what your social media following is or whatever. Like, I'm not just going to put you on something of mine just because of what your social media looks like. That's just not me, right?
Curated list.
Yeah, but when I watched John listen to artists last month, he has the same look on his face that I do. He actually cares. And I respected that so much about him, because you can tell he actually is listening, and those lines are eating him up.
Oh, yeah.
And that's cool to see. It's for me, when I actually can tell that somebody gives a damn. Yeah. And I don't know why I give a damn so much, to be honest with you. It's just something that I'm passionate about, and I love the songwriters, and I love just some of the stuff. Like, I wish that there was more people that could see what you do and see what there's a bunch of my other buddies that I just wish they got more exposure. Don't get me wrong. I love the Morgan Wallens of this world. I love some of that shit. But there's some stuff that if I could put in a fucking trash can and get rid of, I would. And I would replace it with people that's got depth and people that's got heart and people that's got some great shit that needs to be heard.
Yeah.
I think that the best shit in Nashville never gets played. Like,
Yeah,
out
some
there.
of it, yeah, you're right. I
And
mean,
it drives me fucking nuts.
yeah, I mean, there's a tough side of that. It's just there's a lot to the business. I mean, and that's the hard part. It's like it's not just the best song doesn't always win.
Yeah.
But consistently good songs and consistently good songwriters typically get somewhere
Yeah.
or some form. I mean, it's like I don't know, it's something that turns it where people realize like what's coming out of this person or this guy that's writing a lot of stuff. It may be that some artist latches on and starts writing a lot with them or recording a lot of their stuff or whatever it might be. But certainly I would think that, I mean, I guarantee you if you ask the biggest songwriters in this town, if they have some of their songs that are their favorite ones they've ever written that have never been recorded, they certainly do.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it blows my mind, dude. It drives me insane. And that's where, with like even like us recording everything tonight, just people they don't get a chance to hear it. Like if it wasn't for like us putting some of the stuff out we put on the podcast and then me trying to drive people to go look at certain folks' social medias or whatever. And it's not like I'm the only person doing it either.
Yeah.
Like I try to do that because I want more people to look at artists and like John does. I wish there was more people actually paying attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I guess the point I'm trying to say is like I just wish people cared a little bit more about that instead of just being like it being background noise that they're just getting away with.
Yeah, I mean, and there's something to that. I think a lot of people are unaware. I think really there's been kind of a renaissance in the writing side of things. Is like writers' rounds have become so popular, and they really didn't used to be. I mean, there were some in Nashville, but there weren't even. It wasn't like every bar in Nashville had writers' rounds.
Yeah.
Now every bar in Nashville has writer rounds at some point or another, and there's a lot that do it. And nationwide, that's becoming popular.
Yeah.
It's like, that's the way that we do our Playin Through shows is like 3 across, swapping songs. And you'll notice now, like all throughout the country, like a lot of the shows that I go play are someone calls and goes, hey, we want 3 songwriters, 3 Nashville hit songwriters to play us their songs the way that they do in Nashville. And so that's kind of cool. At least there's getting a little bit of eyes on that. But I know what you mean. I mean, you're kind of as a songwriter, you're destined for the background.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people that write know that and are, I kind of prefer that. I like being able to be like, in town. I like to be able to go out and people are like, oh, it's Tyler. But also, I know if I just go to some little town in Arizona, no one has any fucking idea who I am, and that's nice.
Yeah. I get it. I guess I don't know. I'm just wired fucking weird. I just like people to get acknowledgement that I think deserves it.
Yeah. Well, at least you have a platform to do that. So that's good.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it's the underdog thing or whatever. I don't even know if you can say it's underdog. I don't know fucking what the correct term would be. It's just for the longest time, and it's probably just because I'm an asshole, and I wish that some people wouldn't have made it, or some people wouldn't have blown up. That's probably what it is. Now I'm thinking about it. There's certain people that I see that have blown up, whether it's been in social media, music, or whatever, and you're like, why the fuck is this person making it, but this other person isn't? And I try my best when I look at somebody that I'm like, damn, I really want to see this person succeed because they're a great person. What they're putting out's got depth. They're just a wonderful human being. But this other person's just really shitty. And maybe they just got lucky. I don't know how the fuck they get where they're at. That's where I try to like hero them along. Like that's where it's like, let's fucking lift them up.
Yeah.
And that's where I don't know. I just wish more people would see, like I said, just the way that people like John and other folks do. I don't know how the fuck I just got on a tangent. My Adderall just kicked in and my brain just went fucking screwball.
That's all right. I'm about to have to get a tequila to kick in too.
Yeah.
I'm over here. Wait, can I pour one?
Yeah, fuck it, go on. We'll pause it for a second.
Well, pause it, we just bullshit from the kitchen. Pause for the cause.
Well, if I didn't have enough fucking tequila yesterday, Tyler, thank you. Oh, shit. Well, I'm sorry. You're probably going to have some more tonight. What do you have on? Turn around. All right. Shit. No, I just didn't know. Anyway. Because I was looking at your ass. That's why. Shut up. Anyway. That was a bad idea, Tyler.
I'm full of them.
Good. There was something else I saw that you wrote, and I was going to fucking drive me nuts now. What, and don't, if I'm wrong about this, don't fucking get mad at me. You got a Jamie Johnson cut, right?
No.
What song is this? There's one that you have that when I looked it up.
Jamie and I did. I mean, we played together in Saratoga Springs, New York, but we did Whiskey Bent and Hellbound. Neither one of us wrote that one, but
No, there's something that you have, and when I looked it up, so I'm starting to do this thing to where whenever I'm listening to a song that's like this one that I really fucking just love, like whatever it is, like older one, I'm wanting to learn more about the songwriters.
yeah, sure.
So I'm always starting to look up who wrote it and everything now.
Yeah, sometimes they so I've seen things where there's actually a new thing I'm using that kind of does like the credit stuff, and it's funny because it's got me on it has me on like 2 or 3 songs that I did not write. So that might not be your fault.
Okay.
Because sometimes for some reason they'll like miss, what it is or add somebody on something.
Okay.
But I will tell you, I love Jamie, and I've known him since 2011, and he just shot me a text this morning saying I sent him a message about his new record, and I was like, hey buddy.
Oh my God, it is amazing.
So he's like, thanks, man. He said it's been a good year for me. Let's play golf soon. So we'll get out there and play. Yeah, I love Jamie.
Coolest moment I've ever had. It's a sad, but it's for me, it's cool. So I've won some awards. I've got some really cool shit happen to me. But the coolest thing, we was with Bobby Pinson the night that Toby Keith passed away. We was at Losers. Mm-hmm. The next day, Bobby, Randy Hauser, Jamie Johnson are all together.
Yep.
And didn't know he was going to run into him or whatever. But Bobby just texted me and was like, hey, come meet us wherever. He didn't tell me anybody was with him. I've never told Bobby I'm a Jamie Johnson fanatic, right? So I used to have it. It's covered up now, but right here. The White and Black album of his, I had the dove and snake and whatever it is that was on the album cover right here on my shoulder, tattooed. And whenever we ran into Bobby that night, he introduced me to Jamie and Randy. And he introduced me as, this is Josh. He's one of the real ones. He's got a big podcast. Y'all should do it sometime because Bobby's been on the show.
Yeah.
And I respect Bobby so much, and he's such a fucking asshole. I don't understand why he likes me, and I joke with him all the time because he just seems not to like anybody, but he acts like he loves me, and he's just the nicest person to me, and I think the world of him. And the way he introduced me to them that night was better than any award, any accolade, anything I've ever got.
Yeah.
Like, Jamie Johnson is like one of my dream shows. Like, to sit down in this bullshit with him for a little bit. There's certain people, and I don't know if you've ever had this. There's certain people that hitting the record button with and doing a show with is fucking awesome. Like, doing this with you right now is fucking so cool. Like I said, full circle shit. There's certain people, I don't even know if I'd want to turn the camera on.
Yeah.
Like, have you had that to where, like, there's this people, like, I don't even know if I want to make it work. Like, I'd rather, if me and you could have went and played golf today and not had cameras on and I could just pick your brain, that'd have been fucking amazing to me.
Yeah.
That'd have been cool.
Yeah, I think, I mean, to speak to your point of, like, how someone introduces you or someone thinks of you or whatever, especially, and Bobby, too. Bobby actually was fairly instrumental when I first came to town. He had this thing called Sing for Your Supper. And you'd go in there. It was at the Blue Bar, which is no longer there. Now it's like the Velvet Taco or something. And you go in there, and his wife made dinner, and all the people that went up and played, they would feed you.
Yeah.
So it was called Sing for Your Supper.
Oh, that's cool.
And I would go in there, and it was kind of like they'd have the set crew of people, and then at the end there would be like a little kind of an open mic, like the last like 5 people you know sign up, and they'd put you in an order. And I went in there and played one night. Terry Jo Box was in there. She was like helping Bobby with everything, and they both told me. Well, Terry Jo's told me this side of the story, and then but the first night I played, I was on like the sign up, you know, thing or whatever, and I played, and Terry Jo, I guess, told Bobby, she's like, I don't think this guy's very good, and Bobby's like, this guy's fucking good. And I don't know why, and I didn't even know that he said that or anything, but Bobby was always really nice to me, and like, well, he wasn't really nice to me. He was nice to me in the sense that he believed in me, I could tell, and he was like cool to me about songs and everything else, and so we're still buddies. You know, we've certainly through the years had our share of arguments and laughed, and
I think everyone has.
Cried and yelled, and yeah, but also, I mean, he's one of my favorite songwriters. I think he's one of the most recognizable. It's like I can go down the road, and if I hear a song that Bobby wrote that I didn't know he wrote, I know he wrote it right when I hear it.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, so that's kind of the same. Yeah, Bobby's been awesome, and Jamie. I'll tell you a funny thing. The first time I met Jamie, I was on the Country Throwdown tour in 2011, and it was 2010. And the headliners, it was Montgomery Gentry and Jamie Johnson, the headliners. And then the whole list was like, Eric Church, Jack Ingram, Eli Young Band, Little Big Town, Jonathan Singleton in the Grove. Like it was a lineup.
Stacked.
And then I was they called us like the barbecue band. We had to like drag a 18-foot PBR grill behind our RV, like across the country. We had to play every day at like 1 p.m. And then stay up late and cook for all the artists at the end of the night, like, I don't know, barbecue. But, and we were on that. We first went to like Tampa and Jacksonville or something like that. That's where we started the tour. And I was, same thing, huge Jamie Johnson fan. And finally, Wade Battle was playing guitar for Jamie at the time, and Wade and I were buddies. And we get up to Saratoga Springs, New York. Actually, no, this was prior to that. It was a few days before. Wade comes up and he goes, Tyler, he goes, come on, man, come get on the bus. Jamie wants to meet you. And I was like, what? Okay. So we'd been on the tour for, a couple of weeks at this point. It was a pretty intensive tour. Like we were just staying out on the road full time. So, I'd get up, throw my jeans on, like come over there. It's like 11 o'clock at night, and I get up on the bus, and there's like a bunch of radio PDs in there and on the bus and everything. Everybody's, drinking and smoking. And Wade's like, Jamie's sitting on the couch. Jamie looks over and goes, hey, dude, this is Tyler Reeve. Jamie goes, who?
Shit.
Wade goes, he's got that song Train Songs we were listening to. And Jamie's like, oh, yeah. Good to meet you, buddy. He just kind of like looked the other way, and I was like, my time to exit here. So I got the hell off the bus. I was like, and which was funny, though, because it's like, you think about it now, and Jamie and I have talked about this. It's pretty funny. But so anyway, the next night we're in Saratoga Springs, New York, and Wade comes up daytime, like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. He goes, hey, man. He goes, we were all having so much fun last night and everything. He said, Jamie wants you to come out and sing with him tonight. I think Wade told Jamie that he was like rude to me or something, which it didn't matter in the moment. I was like, I thought it was funny. I was like, whatever. So anyway, he's like, think of an old standard and you tell us what key you doing. And I was like, let's do Whiskey Bent and Hellbound. So we did, and that was awesome. You can find that video on YouTube of me and Jamie doing Whiskey Bent and Hellbound up there at the in Saratoga Springs. And then the rest of the tour, we're cool. It's like I've known him since then and ever since, and he's always been a good dude. I've always loved his music. I'm glad he's finally come out with some new music. I know he kind of took a spell off there for a bit and a little reset, but this new record's good.
It's so fucking good.
Yep.
He's one of those that I say it all the time. You got people that want to be popular, and you got people that are just going to leave legacy. And I love the fact that with him, he's never done necessarily the popular thing. He's always done his thing.
Yeah.
And I love that about him. I'm sure there could have been times that, and I think this is with you, I think this is with everybody. There's probably been times that you sit there and you have to really think long and hard about, do I got to change my image? Do I got to change this? Do I got to sing something I don't want to sing? Do I got to write something I don't want to write? What do I have to do to make it? And I think that some people they got to break sometimes. And I think some people are like, fuck it. I think I'm just going to go for broke. Like, I'm just going to be me. And I know that still you got to get mailbox money. I know you still got to write stuff for, whatever. But I've always felt with him that he has just been unapologetically him fucking self.
Yeah.
And I love that about him so much.
Yeah. He definitely has. I mean, there are also people that have there are some people who are just true artists in the sense of like, that's who they are.
Yeah.
That's who they're going to be. I think Jamie being one of those. And I think and then there are also people that have like an artist side and then, also are trying to calculate what else comes into play.
Yeah.
Into their career or whatever else that might be. And sometimes when those match up, it's awesome. And sometimes when you have someone that's just like the true artist in the sense of unapologetically, just this is what I'm going to do, and it works, that's amazing. That's definitely what it's been for Jamie.
Yeah. What about with you? Like, did you ever feel like that you were getting pulled in a bunch of different directions, or you just pretty much got to do what you wanted to do?
No, I certainly felt that, man. I think anybody does. I mean, I'm sure even someone like Jamie, I mean, who has to deal with when you're going into an industry, you're certainly going to have people that see what they think is a good thing, and then they are going to tell you what they think makes it a better thing. And some people might be right, and some people might be wrong, and you have to kind of follow your own thing. But I mean, it's human nature to have to doubt yourself on one side or another or something different for sure. I definitely was never the guy where I'm just like, man, fuck y'all, I'll just do whatever I want to. I think I certainly tried to toe the line the right way, like for a while. I think now, in my life now, I think one of the things the freedom I have now is that I don't really have to answer to anybody, and it's not, but also, I also don't have to go out and go sell out an arena tomorrow night. So there's a big difference there for those people that have to take all that into account. And I don't, because I'm just writing songs, and luckily I've gotten to a point where I don't really have to. I don't have anyone that can really tell me which way I want to do it, so I can make my own decisions and make my own mistakes, and learn from those, or learn from whatever other people tell me what they've done, any which way. But I think everybody is certainly influenced at some point, no matter who they are. They're influenced by what someone says, or some kind of self-doubt creeps in from the way somebody tells you something or whatever else. That's the hardest thing I think to ever get through. And I think most people for their entire lives have that at some, in some sense, which I certainly still do on certain things. But I think in the scheme of things, when you can finally the freedom is when you're like, I mean, what does it matter? Like, I could just say like, no, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. I'm having to learn that now, the balance part of it. Is because like I have such a fuck it mentality, and I'm gonna do it my way. But I'm learning that I don't know the right way with a lot of things, and I have to learn to listen to folks that do.
Yeah, well, that's a huge lesson itself. Is like knowing what you don't know is probably the most powerful knowledge you'll ever have. Yeah, because that's the other thing. It's like if you say, it's just like if someone comes in and go, hey man, have you ever gone skydiving? And you're like, yeah. I know how to skydive, but you've never been skydiving.
Yeah.
Well, how that person might have been like, if you said no, they'd be like, well, dude, I got room tomorrow. Why don't you go skydiving with me? Or like, whatever. There's all kinds of shit that when you just tell people like, yeah, I've already done that, you miss out on things, man. It's like the honesty of not knowing things and telling people you don't know anything about it is the only way you're going to learn about it.
Well, there's just no growth in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like you're shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah.
And I've done it. I've done it to the point to where like, until the past couple of months, I've learned to where just say you don't fucking know how to do something. Like if you're not good at it, it's okay to tell somebody you're not good at something. Right. You can learn how to fucking do something.
Good at everything.
I don't know how to do shit. I didn't realize I didn't know I can talk. Yeah. Like the only thing that I'm good at in this world is running my mouth and having a conversation. Outside of that, I don't know how to do shit.
Yeah. Well, there's value in the fact that you know that you don't know that.
Yeah, somewhere. Yeah, I know. We're still trying to figure that part out, but no, that's cool though. That fucking Adderall and tequila just do not. I'm telling you, this shit always gets me. This is why I hate Nashville. If we were at my studio in Georgia, right, I would have went to bed on time. I wouldn't be fucking cracked out of my head on Adderall, and I wouldn't have just took a shot of tequila. I probably still would have took a shot of tequila with you.
Yeah.
But my brain just this is all fucked up from being up here. I don't know how y'all do it. Which you don't. How old's your kid now?
He'll be 4.
Is that your only one?
Yep.
So did you start kind of going back to where you are not going back, but did you change to where you wasn't staying out all the time when you got married and when you had a youngin', or
yeah, well, I mean, my wife and I would still get out, like, I mean, prior to having our
I just
kid.
got to figure out when I'm going to stop staying out all night is the point of that.
Oh, that'll just be, I don't know, that's going to have to be your own thing. Honestly, it's because going back to doing what you want to do. Like, the thing is now, it used to be, I was easily talked into staying out, and now I'm just like, nah, fuck y'all, I'm going home. Like, like if I have that one moment of like, yeah, it's probably time to go home. Like, it doesn't matter what time it is. It doesn't matter I'm like, I'm out. Here I go. But, you know, I don't know that comes for any specific reason. I do certainly enjoy being at the house with my kid and my wife, so that makes it a little easier. But
yeah, I liked it when, and I'm weird about this. Whenever I texted you, and was asking you about playing a show in the first place, right? Or messaged you on Instagram, and you were asking me for an early round, right? Because you wanted to get home to your youngin'. I was thinking that was the coolest shit, but I've learned you can tell how cool a person is, like what a good dad or like just a good person they are in general by stuff like that. That's like all I needed to know about you, like even before we did the podcast, right? And there's just like you just don't get that a lot.
Yeah, I also think, man, I remember like when there were rounds. I remember also like when I used to like I would play a bunch of rounds here, and it was like that was the thing. We did Whiskey Jam, and we did the Tin Roof Revival, and there was like a different round, every night of the week that you wanted to go play. And you always there were like these coveted slots, like, oh, you want to play at like 8:50 p.m. at Whiskey Jam because you're like right in the middle of it, or whatever. And you get those slots or you don't. I think the thing is just kind of the further you go, the older you get. You're like, I'm glad to be there to help you out. I'm gonna play the same songs. If I play it, well, most likely, I mean, close to the same songs if I play at 8 o'clock, if I play at 10 o'clock, if I play at 5 o'clock. So, whichever one I can get on where I do not have an obligation later.
Yeah.
The earlier I'm done with my obligations, then I feel like, who knows, I might still stay out for a while. But at least I'm not like, I have to be accountable for myself until.
You haven't been to one of my rounds before, have you?
I have not.
So, I do mine weird.
Okay.
Like, one of the things that I try to do is I try to make it fun for the artist, right?
Okay.
Because we record them, and we put them out as episodes for the podcast, right? So we always try to like do something special. So I realized a long time ago that a bunch of these artists that play the shows always gets told what they have to play. Like when they play Broadway or go play just wherever, just any fucking place, they're always getting requests of shit they don't want to play. So they always play, of course, their 3 or 4 originals or whatever. But then the later we get into the night, after everybody's got a good buzz or whatever, I always am like, hey, if you want to play an extra song and you want to play another one of your originals, that's completely fine. But if you also want to play something that means something to you, I love reminding the folks that do my show, play something if you want to that what made you want to get into music, that reminds you why you love country music. Because I got a buddy. He's like my big brother. He's one that got me introduced to a lot of these folks. A guy named Lee Tucker. I don't know if you know him or not, but he's a songwriter up here, and I just love Lee so much. And he used to play songs for me that I'd never fucking heard before. And I think that I know so much about country music, and I don't know shit about it half the time because there just seems to always be a song that you can't. There's no possible way you know every single great song ever. There's just no way. Yeah. So, like, I missed out on knowing who Earl Thomas Conley was until about 5 6 years ago.
ATC, baby.
Yeah, and let me tell you what I'd say is one of my all-time favorite songs now.
Yeah.
And I would have never known it if we wouldn't have got drunk and he picked up his guitar and played it. And he never gets asked to play that song.
Yeah.
They'll want to hear his fat ass sing Pony. They'll want to hear him sing Pony by Genuine, but nobody ever asked him to play what I'd say. So he's the one that gave me the idea. I was like, you know what? I'm going to start telling these folks, play something that just is going to turn you back on to country music. Turn you back on to what you do and what you're passionate about.
Yeah.
And some artists want to do it, some don't. I
think the funny thing about that is I used to, like, before I ever did the whole, like, original thing, I played cover songs in college, and I played down at Irish Kevin's in Key West 6 nights a week. Like, right after I graduated from college, I knew, like, probably 500 cover songs.
Yeah.
Like, just off the top of my head, no problem. And the funny thing is now, after writing for so much time and everything else, like, I don't know if I have the capacity. Like, I know, like, there are songs that I know so well that, like, I mean, like, you know, if I'm out on the road with, like, Riley, he'll be like, hey, come out and do Dixieland Delight with me. And I'll walk out and I'll be like, chubby old groundhog, what's the next fucking line?
I hate that fucking song just because Alabama.
Yeah, but I mean, either way.
I get it.
It'll be the same thing. It'll be on, like, on any random song that everyone knows, you know, like, and you're like, what is the next verse to this song? I don't fucking remember anymore. But yeah, I'm with you. I mean, it is fun to play kind of covers that take you back to whatever that is at some point. But I have not done that in a while.
Yeah, you don't have to do that now. My point was, I just like people when they do our show. I want it to be fun. I don't want it to be like a regular.
Yeah.
I just want it to be different.
That's why I drink.
Yeah. You should drink a lot.
I never do a round when I'm not. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I cannot. I don't think I've done a round without at least having, like, a drink or a show. I got to, man. Otherwise, I'm just, like, boring as shit.
We had to put. Not we had to. I put a round between y'all and then Trent's round at the end of the night. And there's these 2 girls on there, and they've never played my show before. And I usually put all the people that have never played my show in the first slot of the night, the 5 o'clock slot. But it just didn't work out that time. Or this time, so it just is how it worked this time. But they have texted me all week, and they've been so nervous about playing it, or whatever. And I'm like, look, I don't even care. Just don't, like, be horrible. Just have fun.
Suck.
Yeah, just don't suck, please.
Yeah.
Just have fun.
Yeah.
Like, they think it's a way bigger deal than what it is. I'm like, just have fun. I promise you, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Just enjoy yourself. I'm not gonna get.
You're not gonna get better than the people that you're not better than in 1 week.
No, I don't. Yeah, don't worry. You're gonna. Be
That'll
fine.
take years, darling.
Yeah. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Nah, dude. I'm telling you, like, it's you playing it tonight and Trent.
Yeah.
That means so fucking much to me. It is so cool to me. For us to end out the year with you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, so fucking cool. And then you taking some time to come do this today.
Yeah.
I want to play golf with you.
Come on.
Also too, but please don't kick my ass too bad, 'cause I got a feeling that you are 10 times better than I am.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I play a lot of golf, so
Yeah.
I would hope so.
You better be. I like to drink and play.
I do that
Yeah,
too.
so I'm like double bogey at best.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just playing. I'm not that bad. Like I'll sneak a birdie in there. I'm probably parish. If any of my friends that I play golf with heard that, they're gonna all gonna tell me I'm full of shit.
I already know it's full of shit because that's not what you'd say if you were a scratch golfer. You wouldn't say I'm parish. You'd say I'm scratch.
Yeah. I'm not. I don't know.
It's okay. It's fine. You listen. You don't have to be great at golf to have a good time playing golf.
Yeah.
It still can be a good time. We can go out there. We can do a very simple game for a very minuscule amount of money, and we can do it on.
Oh, I'm not fucking gambling.
Well, I don't play unless I gamble. So I have to have something on the line, man. Otherwise, I will suck if I don't. Even if it's like $1 a hole.
Oh no, we can do that.
There's got to
now.
be something.
No, we can do
like
something.
I have to have something on the line, or I'm just like, what are we playing for?
No, we can definitely do that. But no, dude. Yeah, we'll end it on that. But like I said, it means a lot to me. Sorry, I'm a little bit hungover today.
That's okay.
But
you'll be re-drunk soon enough.
Oh, dude, we're about to be. And I just have fun tonight, dude. We're gonna have a fucking blast.
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna power through here. I'm gonna go catch a couple drinks, and then I'm gonna grab some dinner with Trent.
Cool.
And then we're gonna get over there and fire down some more drinks, and then play around and have a great time tonight.
Well, drop your social media, and if you got anything that's coming out or anything that you want to promote real fast, now will be time to do it. That way we can clip it out and put it on social media for you.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I got some cool stuff coming, but I don't know when it's coming. That's the thing. It's like you write songs, and they're like, oh yeah, this is on this record, and you don't know when it's coming out, or hell, if it's coming out till it comes out. To be honest with you, but my social media is all just Tyler Reeve. That's it, man. Instagram's the main thing I do. I don't have anything else really.
Well, you don't have to when you just write fucking bangers all day.
That's right.
All right, let's go get fucked up. Thank y'all for listening to the Josh J Podcast. We will catch y'all next time.
Thanks, buddy.
See you, bub.